Well, hi everybody, Mindy here with the report for the new EA. Today is week 2, day 2. You're going to like some things about the report today and other things you're not going to like, so I'll just give you the bad news first. It was not a great day for the EA. Now, what happened was we did have quite a few trades close. You know, this is what we want to see. We want to see more trades closing every day. So today in the live account, I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 trades that closed. Some of those were fixers. And the one thing that I did want to show you, let me sort this by pair to bring them together. But this old trade that we had in the CAD JPY, that the original trade went in on May 3rd and it hedged. So this was the original trade, which today was $63.73 negative when I closed it. But the hedge for that trade when I closed it was $43.04 profitable. So essentially we're talking about a $20 difference between the two trades, right? Well, what happened today is I tried multiple times to fix that trade. So I had one fixer that stopped out for $4, another fixer that stopped out for $4, and then another fixer attempt that stopped out for $14. So what happened was, between the combination of these fixer trades, 14 and 8, 22, the difference in the original trade and the hedge was 20, right? So what I did is I went ahead and combined the efforts of these 3 attempts to fix that hedge, and once I had booked enough money in fixer trades to cover the difference in the PL between these two trades, I closed both of the original trades. And so the combination of the fixer trades and the 2 original trades gives me a net positive in the account. So anyway, that's how you fix a hedge. That's how you buy your way out of a hedge. And it works every time. Usually you can get it done without making 3 attempts at it. But anyway, it turned out just fine. So I just wanted to show you how that works. And I've also had a couple of attempts one anyway, that I was making trying to fix one of these other old hedges in the GBP CHF pair. So anyway, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you know, sooner or later they all come out, and they all come out just fine. But again today, we had more trades placed and more trades that closed in the demo account than we did in the live account. I don't have an answer on why that's happening, other than the fact that demo accounts try to replicate live accounts. You know, they're set up to try to replicate the market conditions as close as possible to live accounts. But the fact of the matter is, demo accounts are not live accounts. So what's going to happen is, on a demo account, you know, you're never going to incur slippage and things like that on a demo account that you do have in a live account. And as far as hitting your target for your entries, I think that the demo accounts will always give you your entry, where in a live account, for some reason, you don't always get your entry. You might get real close to it, but one of the little, you know, microsecond fluctuations in the price movement or something on the server might keep you from being picked up in a trade. So I think those are some of the reasons why the two accounts are not more similar to each other than they are. So anyway, now let's go and look at the actual open positions. Now here's where things are going to get a little ugly. Okay, what happened today is I did close one of, remember yesterday we had the 5 hedges up here in this upper part, right? And well, one of the 5 hedges I closed, but then later this afternoon I picked up 3 new hedges. So, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it, right? But the biggest reason why we have a much larger negative PL today than we had yesterday is because essentially $100 of that is actually tied up in a fixer trade gone bad. So, you know, you've probably wondered, well, what do you do if you put in one of these fixer trades and you can't get a profit stop on it? Well, what you do eventually when it gets to a certain point is you hedge it out. So what I had to do with this what should have been a fixer trade is I had to hedge it out. So here's the hedge for it down here. And now the price is in between the price where I put in the fixer, the original fixer, and the hedge for the fixer. So at this moment in time, both of the 2 trades are negative because the price currently is in between them. So now what I have is I have a fixer trade that's going to need to be fixed. But that's okay. It all works out fine. But when it is a fixer trade, I do, because it's a larger trade and stuff like that, I do wait a little longer before I hedge it out. So on most of the normal trades that are going in, the EA is hedging the trades out at somewhere between 20 and 30 pips, depending on the pair. But with the fixer trade, I did want to give it a little more room to run to see if it could come back to life before I hedged it. But when it got about 50 pips negative, I went ahead and hedged it out, because the thing is, what you never want to do is you never want any single trade, no matter what kind of trade you've put in, to get too far out of hand. And this afternoon, if you remember right, things started getting kind of crazy because President Trump was making his announcement on what he was going to do about the Iran nuclear deal. That essentially is a fundamental issue that can affect the Forex prices, and it did. It made them very jumpy this afternoon, right? So essentially over $100, about $110 of this $320 negative equity right now is actually just this one hedge. It's money tied up in just this one hedge. I mean fixed. Well, it's a fixer that's hedged, but anyway, that's a third of the money that's tied up in the negative equity right now. So if it had not been for that fixer going bad, our equity would be well above the $10,000 right now that we started with in the account a week and a day ago. So anyway, it will all pan out, but it is kind of one of those situations where you take one step forward and 2 steps back sometimes, and today was one of those backstepping days. So that's okay. But I did want to show you something else about the EA, because I've been getting a lot of email questions about it. Now, the EA, although it is an auto trader, it is not meant to completely replace the trading that you do manually. What it's meant to do is it's really meant to be more of an enhancement to the trading that you're already doing. And that way you can spend your time looking for the bigger trades, the trades that will be more swing trade oriented or position trade oriented. And what the EA is doing, it's looking for the little scalpy trades. that happen all the time. But the trades that you might not have the time to sit around all day and watch for, quick little opportunities to make 10 or 15 or 20 pips, right? So that's what the EA is supposed to do. So what we'll do is we'll go back to some of these closed positions, and I'll just show you where some of these trades are on the charts. So the first trade that the EA picked up today was an AUD CAD trade at a price of 96.88, right up here. It was a sell trade. Well, what I did is I came in and I marked that on the chart so you could see where the trade was picking up. Now, the EA calculates lots of things, but what it's looking for situations where the price has overreacted on a short-term chart. And so what it's doing is it's looking for places where it thinks the price is overreacted and is due for a pullback. So this first trade right up here, this AUD CAD trade, it went in right here. And honestly, I think the EA picks out some pretty good spots for trades, because as you can see from the point where the EA put the trade in, the price did go up a few more pips, but then it pulled back, right? And unfortunately, in this bar here is when the EA put the stop, the original stop on the trade. And that's kind of sad, because what happened is the price came back up a few bars later, stopped out the trade for a small profit for $3.10, and then made this big move down. So, this is just luck of the draw, right? We can't help it that our trade got stopped out. If this bar had not gone as high as it did, and maybe if the price had only gone to right here, then our trade would not have been stopped out, and it would have made it to its profit target, which was somewhere down around here. But that's how the EA works. And when we get stopped out for these small profits, it's just tough luck. Tough luck for me. It would have been so much nicer if it would have been able to make it to its profit target. But it doesn't really matter, because any profit is a profit, right? And what we don't want to have happen is for the trades to go so ugly that they need to be hedged. So it's just something that you have to put up with, that a lot of times you will get stopped out for small profits. And sometimes you won't, but that's just how the Forex prices move. They move up and down all the time. Even when they're trending, they're moving up and down, stuff like that. So anyway, it was just bad luck. But then later in the day, the EA put another trade in the AUD CAD. Let me go down the list and find it. 96.51. Okay, so it put another trade in the EA several hours later. And so here, what it did, and here's why I'm so encouraged about the EA. Okay, the EA knew not to put a buy trade all the way down here, right? It did not put a buy trade here, or here, or here, or here, or here, right? So we literally made it. The EA was smart enough to know not to put the buy trade in until the EA thought that the move was over. Now, unfortunately, the EA did not know that the price was going to continue on down to here, right? But that's okay, because this distance between where the EA went in and where the low happened was not enough to cause the EA to hedge this trade. So when it put this trade in, this trade did go ugly for it looks like for about an hour and a half before it got profitable. And then it did get profitable, and then it put the profit stop on, and in the next bar, unfortunately, the next bar dropped back down and stopped out the trade for just a couple of pips. You know, again, bad luck happens. But the good part about the EA is that had it put a buy trade in up here somewhere where the price just kept falling and falling, then we would have had a hedge situation, and we'd now be in a hedge that we would have to find a way out of. But I think it's pretty amazing that the EA is smart enough to know not to go in when we have these huge long moves like this. You know, so I'm really very pleased with what happened today. And then let's just go take a look at some of the others. AUD CHF, it put in a trade in there today, so we'll go look at that one. And the AUD CHF trade that it put in was at a buy at 74.63. So that would be right about, I think that would have been in this bar, 74.63. Yep, the first time it hit that price would have been right here. So, okay, so right there is where it put a buy. Again, when you're looking at this overall picture of the price coming down, I think that is amazing placement, because it didn't go in here or here or here, you know, where we would have had a huge situation with a hedge, right? Again, this trade went in, the price went down a little more than it went up. It placed the stop in right in here, and then unfortunately for us, the price fell again. Now, often what will happen is that when you have these trades that get stopped out for small profits and then the price keeps dropping, often what will happen is you will see another trade enter somewhere right down here. But it didn't in this situation, and that's because when the price was down here, it did not qualify under the criteria that the EA is looking for. Because what the EA is really looking for are situations that will be almost, you know, sure things for, you know, being trades that will be profitable, right? So anyway, I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to show you also that we did get a larger number of trades again today. So that's 2 days in a row where we've had a, you know, a little bit closer to the number of trades that we like to see. I'm still disappointed in the fact that so many of the trades are getting stopped out for just tiny amounts of money. But, you know, it is what it is, and eventually it will work itself out. So that's kind of the report for today. But where we're leaving it for today is we got rid of one hedge. We picked up 3 new ones, but the bigger problem in the account, for me, the embarrassing problem in the account, is that I tried to fix a trade, and my fixer went bad enough that it had to be hedged. So essentially 110 of the $318 of negative PL currently is wrapped up in just that one fixer hedge that I did manually, right? So shame on me. But anyway, it is what it is, and it'll all work out sooner or later. So that's our report for today. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to give me a call. Check out my website, www.mindyyost.com, and I'll see you tomorrow. Happy trading. Bye-bye.